Hello, it's Kelly here from Spiritual Awakening Signs, and we have a fantastic masterclass for you today: how to become a spiritual healer and embrace your natural healing abilities. And I stress it is a natural healing ability. We all have it. We're going to be talking about that all through the masterclass, and I can guarantee you will not find this information anywhere else. It's a really big part of your awakening. I can't wait to share it with you. So what we're going to be covering in this masterclass are, first and foremost, the burning question that I know that you'll have: do you possess powerful healing abilities? Do you have that healing power? You're going to find out for sure. We're going to cover what type of healer are you, if you are indeed a healer. You know, what pathway does that take? What type of healer you are, how I became an intuitive healer and my journey, so that we can share a little bit about how I managed to get there. We're going to talk about 3 mistakes we don't want you to make, that all healers make on the life purpose pathway, on their pathway to making their purpose. We want to make sure we avoid those for you. And of course, we've got our special system, 3 steps to freeing your spiritual healing abilities. It's easy, I promise you, and it can be done, and we're going to be talking all about that in the masterclass and showing you how to do that. So before we begin, I know that the burning question for you is going to be, do you possess healing abilities? Do you have that healing power? And the wonderful thing that I want to tell you is that no matter if you've never had any experience of healing power, no matter if you've ever had energy healing yourself, no matter if you're a spiritual person or not a spiritual person, going through awakening or not going through awakening, it makes no difference. What I have found from working with people over a really long span of years, all different types of people, is that everyone possesses powerful innate healing ability. There's no question in my mind. It's something that we have within ourselves, but we've forgotten how to use it. It's been so long out with our awareness and our focus and our use that we've not activated it. It's not currently within our use generally, unless we find a channel to work it through. But what I can tell you is, like I said, it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, if you're a spiritual person, not a spiritual person, it doesn't matter. This exists within you, and I haven't found anyone who can't do this. And I'm also a intuitive healer trainer, so that's something that I've worked with people for a really long time. I haven't found anyone that can't do it. It's just a matter of finding out how to do it. That's the issue. It's how do you reach that step by step? What do you do? What things do you put in place to be able to do that? And we're going to cover that today, so you have to stay tuned, and I know that you're going to really enjoy it. Now, like I said, everyone possesses powerful innate healing abilities, but quite often what I have found, the most common reason that we're not in touch with that actual healing power is that the fear of being judged, of being ridiculed, of being rejected, or even being persecuted tends to block those healing abilities from use. And sometimes we even find that subconsciously what we've done is we have shut them down in order to protect ourselves. This is usually a past life issue, and it's in you, and it's probably working in your system, even if you're not aware of it, even if you have no past life memories at all. It's a really common thing. We've been through trauma as a result of our past life experiences when we use those healing abilities, and it's caused a problem. It's caused us to kind of conceal the gift and hide it on the soul level, so that we never get harmed again, so that we're protected in a sense. And all we need to do is release those fears and release that, what we call healer's trauma. It's trauma around using your healing gifts and abilities. We need to clear that. And it might be from this lifetime, fears of what other people will think, or how your family might react, or what people would think if you were really spiritual and doing this type of thing in your daily life. We need to clear all of that. So from this lifetime and previous lifetimes, so that we can clear those blocks and bring those gifts and abilities to the forefront again. And it's really as simple as that. And I'm going to show you how to do it in a really, really easy way. It sounds maybe a little bit more complicated when we're talking about past lives and stuff. It really isn't. You don't need to remember it. It's not a big deal. It's just something you need to move through your spiritual progression pathway. And we'll talk about that in a really easy way. But what I'd like to cover first is how I became an intuitive healer. So I want to share a little bit about my journey, because I think probably most people think that being an intuitive healer came naturally to me, that maybe I have a gift that other people don't have, or that it was there from birth or something like that, and that's just not the case at all. In fact, I spent many years feeling really frustrated and really blocked, feeling deep down, like I knew that I had some sort of ability or something was missing. I felt like I just desperately wanted to help people. It was just such an inbuilt thing within me, and I know a lot of empaths and people in the spiritual pathway feel that way. I just really wanted to help people, and I felt like I should be able to perform healing with ease. It just felt like that should be there, but it just wasn't there, and it was a real source of frustration and even at times depression, because it's like I know that something's missing and I don't know quite exactly what it is. And it wasn't until I discovered an energy healing technique that everything changed. So at that time I had been ill for about 3 years with a condition called ME, chronic fatigue syndrome. I had a car accident and I became really, really unwell, and I was eternally exhausted and burnt out. It was a really difficult time. I was fainting daily, sometimes 5 to 6 times a day. I was using a wheelchair most days because I couldn't walk more than a few steps. I couldn't stand for any more than a few seconds without collapsing. And I had tried absolutely everything that Western medicine could offer. I tried everything. It didn't matter what it was. I was like, I'll try it, and nothing worked. No matter what I did, nothing worked. And then one day, I was actually at the shops, and I had someone pushing me in a wheelchair because obviously I couldn't walk and we're going round about. And I saw this book in a bookshop, and it just kind of stood out to me. And it was about an energy healing technique called EFT tapping. That just happened to be the thing that opened it all up for me. For anyone, it could be something totally different, but for me, it just sounded cool. And I thought, I'm going to get that, I'm going to read that, that'll be interesting. And I started using the technique straight away, and within only 4 months, I was well enough to return to work. I was hanging out with my friends, I was going to the gym. It felt like a complete miracle. It really felt like a miracle. We'd tried everything. It was like, how is it possible that this thing is working? But it really was. And I was totally hooked. That was my first experience of energy healing, where it really totally transformed my life. I couldn't believe the impact that it had. It was amazing. So almost immediately I signed up to become trained as a practitioner so that I could work professionally and work on clients. And I knew what I wanted to do at that moment. I wanted to help people, and I wanted to use this amazing healing modality that I had learned. And I knew that my whole life had been set on the wrong path. It was like, oh my gosh, what have I been doing? This is the right way. It kind of felt like the whole reason why I was unwell for so long. It was as if the universe went, you're on the wrong path, let's just make you sit right there for an extended period of time till you sort out your pathway, because you're on the wrong path. And I knew then and there that I was meant to be a healer, and I absolutely vowed to start my own practice and live having a really fulfilling career. So it would be helping other people, and it would be really fulfilling for me as well to be able to do that and assist other people. It was really meaningful to me. But it didn't quite go that way. Weird things started happening just right on the point where I was getting ready to move into this life purpose pathway. I was certain this is the way I'm going, and for some reason loads of things kept going wrong. It was really, really odd. Obstacles and blocks were coming up and getting in my way all the time. Things like unexpected bills, car trouble, unexplained ailments, extreme difficulty in trying to get any clients whatsoever. That was like my first clue. It was like, something's wrong here. I can't seem to get any clients. I can't seem to make it work. And when I did get clients, they were rude, they were skeptical, or they were unwilling to pay for the services. And I just felt so confused, because it was like, I thought this was my purpose. Like the universe literally showed me exactly where to go, and I've done that, and for some reason everything's going wrong. It doesn't make any sense. Well, fortunately, the energy healing training that I'd had helped me to realise that something else was at play. Something else was happening under the surface energetically and having this impact on my life. And after a bit of digging, I realised that I was absolutely terrified of actually being a healer, of really embracing that purpose and that pathway. I was afraid of the judgment. I was afraid of the skepticism and the possibility of rejection in attracting clients, or even telling other people what I did. Maybe people wouldn't believe in it. Maybe they would criticise me, anything could happen. And it kind of became that I realised I was actually energetically attracting problems to kind of mess it all up. It sounds bizarre, but it was really happening to that level, and I've seen it happen to almost all of the people I've worked with in practice as well. Everything I was doing was actually to protect myself from being that healer again, and It was like if I couldn't be a healer, I couldn't get hurt. That seemed to be what my soul was thinking. So I spent the time clearing all that past life trauma and the fear of being a healer again, and things began to change. It was like the weirdest experience ever. Fast track to today, and I'm an intuitive healer. I'm running a spiritual awakening website. I'm helping hundreds of people, sometimes thousands of people in the long run, and been fulfilling my purpose for a long time now. And all those fears, even the ones that I wasn't actually aware of, didn't stop me from getting where I needed to be in my life purpose. They didn't stop me from stepping in and actually being a healer. They could have, but they didn't. And all of those blocks had to be cleared with energy healing so that I could move on with my life, so that I could enjoy the healing work that I did. And I managed to get there. So I say to you, please don't let negative energy stop you from being who you truly are. That doesn't mean that you need to be a full-time healer. Maybe it's just something that you do and it channels through you in your life, socially or in the people around you. You'll find your own special way of bringing that through in whatever form it is, but don't let it stop you from being true to who you really are, because this is a gift and ability that we all possess. It's just that we're not using it. And my question would be, why would you not use something that exists within your system? Why would you not use a wonderful gift like that? Use it and step into it. Clear that stuff out of the way so that you can be more true to who you are as a soul. And that's a big part of the awakening journey. You're realigning with all the gifts and abilities that you actually have as your higher self. And that's what really makes the shift. So please don't let that negative energy hold you back, whether you're aware that it's there or not, which you're probably not aware that it is actually there. But be the healer you were meant to be and channel that energy into helping others in whatever way is right for you. And we're going to talk about that because it could be so many different ways. And that's actually what I want to get into next. So we know that you're a healer. We know for sure that everyone has that healing ability. So the question is now, what type of healer are you? Now, the first thing I really want you to know is that it doesn't really matter what route that you take. It's that healing energy is in you and it will find its way. It will find its way no matter what you do. It will find a way to come through. Before I even did the energy healing, I was a really great listener. You know, everyone came to me for advice. This has happened, that's happened, what should I do? This is my problems. People would open up to me who I didn't even know, strangers sometimes in the street. It finds a way to move through you. Okay, so you need to know that it will still find a way. But the simplest answer that I can give you in which type of healer are you is that you need to look at what it is that really lights you up inside. What is your joy? What is your interest? What's the thing that just you love doing so much and you could just spend all of your time doing that? It's so much fun or so enjoyable or you get so much from it. What would that be? What is that spark for you? And really then it's about that's the way that the healing energy will find its way through you, because it can come through in many different forms. And if you can clear those blocks and align with that truest version of who you really are, you're going to find that it just pours through you easily. You know, you're going to be doing your interests, you're going to be doing the things that you love, and it'll just be there. So here are some of the types of healer that you might be. You could be an emotional healer. So that might mean that you maybe you're already a counsellor or a therapist or something of that nature. Maybe you're just a really good listener. Maybe you're just really compassionate to your friends and family when they need a listening ear. You could also be a physical healer, so you might be a doctor, you might be doing some form of physical treatments, physiotherapy. You could also just be the type of person that is there for people when they need physical support. So you might be assisting people in their living or the difficulties that they've got. You could be an intuitive healer, so kind of like the work that I do. You're working psychically, you're working intuitively, and you are working with energy, but it's more on a kind of psychic level. You might be doing readings for people, or sometimes you might get insights into what someone should do that would help them in their situation. You're able to give this through. You might not even realise that you're doing it. It just comes through you, that healing energy. You could also be an energy healer, so you may have actually learned a specific skill or a technique that you can use to let that energy move through, like I did. I practiced different methods like EFT tapping and other things, and the energy can come through that way. Or it could be through skills, talents that you already have, things like maybe it's through music, maybe it's through writing, maybe it's through speaking. You know, it can come up in lots and lots of different ways. You could also be an environmental healer, so maybe you work with the plants, maybe you're you know, caring for the environment, you're looking after it in some way. And you can be an animal healer as well, so working with animals, maybe you're caring for animals, maybe you're a vet, maybe, you know, it can come through in loads of different ways. It doesn't always have to be a specific skill. It can just be that this healing energy finds its way through you and the thing that lights you up most. So what is it that you enjoy and care about most, and that's what you want to follow every single time. Okay, and just for the record, it doesn't really matter which one you use. That healing energy is going to find its way, so you just do what you enjoy and what you love, and you'll find that that energy moves through you because you're in a good energy. Now, if you want to do that, there are some mistakes that can be made on that life purpose pathway for any healer, and these mistakes come up quite a lot when I'm working with people, so I want to make sure that we cover them so that you don't get caught up in the same thing. And what I really want you to know is that it's really important for you to embrace your healing abilities. If you don't, you're always going to feel, just like I did, that kind of niggling disconnect from you and your higher self. It's like a kind of discord between you and your higher self, because those healing abilities are a natural part of who you really are, of who we all are. And it's unnatural for us to actually live disconnected from that and have that part of us to be shut down or kind of rejected in a sense. We don't want to do that. Spiritual awakening won't tolerate shadow aspects of self. So what you'll find is that anything that has remained hidden within you, even if you're not aware of it, like these healing abilities, it's going to start rising to the surface, and that's going to bring things from your past and your past lives like pain, fear, trauma, and issues surrounding the use of your gifts. They'll all come up and arise at some point. So it's better for you to actually heal it now and get ahead of it before things start coming up in your daily life. It makes it a lot easier than letting it play out in your daily life, looking to be cleared and resolved. You can take control of it before it starts causing a little bit of drama in your life, which it can do. So get ahead of it. So let's talk about some of these mistakes. So mistake number 1 would be allowing the fear of judgment, rejection, or ridicule to stop you from fulfilling your healer destiny. Really, really important. And I know it's really easily said and not so easily done, because I felt the same when I began all this healing work. It is entirely natural to worry that our friends and family, they won't get what we're doing, or they won't believe in it, or they'll think that we're mad. That's always a common concern. Or maybe they'll just laugh behind our backs and we won't even know about it. But the truth is that nothing can stop you from fulfilling your healer destiny, from being the healer that you're meant to be. And quite often we kind of exaggerate other people's reactions because in truth we're a little bit afraid of the power that we have. It scares us a little bit sometimes because it really is quite powerful, and that can be a bit unnerving when you're not used to it. There's nothing to be afraid of, but it can seem a little bit unnerving. But if instead we can stand tall and be brave, we find that we have such a natural love for healing and helping others that what other people think ultimately is irrelevant, and that it will never hold us back for long. You'll always get where you're going, but it'll be faster if you do some healing on yourself to allow those healing abilities to come forward. So clearing those fears, clearing the issues out of the way. So don't allow the fear of judgment, rejection or ridicule to stop you. Please don't, because things would be so different if I had done that, and now I'm able to help you guys and assist you in this area. So please don't do that. You have a very important purpose and you must step into it. Mistake number 2 is doubting your ability. Now, I can't tell you how many clients I've worked with over the years who have began work with me saying, oh, I would love to do what you do. And after some time of working together, they've cleared their blocks, and then they're saying, I want to do what you do. I'm going to learn how to do what you do, or I'm going on a course, or I'm going to practice this, or I'm working with clients, or whatever it is. People find a way to bring that through. It's if you doubt your ability, you're going to find that you just completely suppress it. Healing ability really has nothing to do. It really has nothing to do with healing ability, if that makes sense. Everyone possesses healing ability. It's your fears and your concerns that hold it back and suppress it and reject it. Now, what you'll tend to find is that because everyone possesses this healing ability, naturally on the soul level, if you can let go of that kind of high regard that we've got, this perception that it feels like some sort of special gift only for the chosen few, or you know, that it's something that's given to others because, you know, they're better than we are, or whatever it is. If you can try to let that go, what you're going to find is that you come back to the truth that it's an innate part of who you are. It's got nothing to do with anything else. It's a natural part of who you are. You just need to learn how to access it. So doubting your ability is actually futile, because ability has nothing to do with it. There's no question about ability. It's just finding that pathway that you want to bring it through. So please don't doubt your ability. Anyone can do this, and I've seen lots of people who started off as skeptics, who have stepped into this line and been able to do it. Whether you want to do it as a career or whether you just want to let that energy come through you as you live your daily life is fine. But please don't doubt your ability, because it's in there, and I haven't found anyone yet who doesn't possess it. Okay, so mistake number 3 that we want you to avoid, and this is a really important one that most people never address, and it's not reactivating shut down healing abilities. Now that's a key point, because I've seen it so many times in clients over the years. We've all shut down and suppressed those healing abilities at some point in our lifetimes out of fear to protect ourselves. We're protecting ourselves from anyone seeing that we have that healing ability ever again. It's like if we don't use it, everything will be okay. Now the thing is, if we hadn't suppressed it, if we hadn't pushed that healing ability down, we'd all be born full psychics and intuitive healers as standard. It would just be a natural thing, and it would be right there from the moment you opened your eyes, pretty much. But I found that, you know, when we work through removing the fears and we work through removing all that trauma of using our healing ability again, we heal any past life trauma that's come up. We need to then reactivate those dormant healing abilities using energy healing. We need to kind of give them like a little kick start, just to wake them back up and get them easy to use again. And it can awaken the gift again, and it'll bring it to the forefront, and then it's really down to you. It's ready for use in whichever form you feel you want to bring it through, you want to share it with. So then it's just about you finding, well, what's your biggest interest? What is it that you really want to do? You need to activate that healing ability. If you do everything else but you miss out that one step, you're either not going to be able to access your healing ability, or you're going to find that it's really lackluster and you're not going to have the full range of healing ability that you should have. So please remember to do that. It's very important. Don't worry, we'll talk about how to do that. And that is the next thing. So please avoid the mistakes. If you don't, a part of you is always going to feel like it's missing, that healing part of you that should be totally integrated with who you are. And Spiritual Awakening is designed to bring all those spiritual gifts and abilities right to the forefront again. And sometimes we just need a little bit of a helping hand. We need to help our energies to get there. So let's talk about how to do that. 3 steps to freeing your spiritual healing abilities. Okay, this is the cool stuff. This is how to actually do it. So you can follow our 3-step process, and it's really easy, and we've got resources to help you as well. So if any of this sounds overwhelming at any point, just know that we've got it all sorted for you. You don't need to freak out, okay? So step number 1 is to heal past life healers' trauma. Hint, we all have it. We all have healers' trauma. I haven't found anyone who doesn't have healers' trauma so far. And that's because we've all been healers before. This isn't the first time here, and it isn't the first time that we've ever kind of been around healing energy or wanted to use it. We've all been healers before. We all possess powerful healing capabilities, and it's a part of who we are. But I've found time and time again in sessions working with clients that are going through spiritual awakening that our souls suppress those healing abilities in order to protect us in this lifetime. It's a protection mechanism, and it's usually the result of trauma from previous lifetimes and incarnations where we've been judged, we've been ridiculed, we've been rejected, we've maybe even been harmed as a result of our healing abilities. And the fear of that reoccurring only serves to block us from our purpose and limit any of that healing capacity that we actually have. So instead, what we need to do is heal that trauma and heal everything that's carried by the soul in that respect, to remove the obstacles and free our souls from that painful emotional baggage that we've been carrying for a really long time, and all the repetitive patterns that come with it. And if they're not in your life now, they will emerge in your life as you move through awakening. So it's better to get ahead of it and clear it while you can. Okay, so heal past life healers' trauma. Step 2 is reactivate shutdown healing abilities. Now, I touched on this earlier. Really, really important. Like I said, our souls remember trauma from previous lifetimes, and they shut down any of those healing abilities so that we can be protected. It's just a fear of danger, it's a fear of harm. So we shut it all down to protect ourselves. And your soul wants to ensure that you're safe and that you survive. That's the most important thing. So healing is perceived as a threat because of what's happened before, and it's a threat to our survival. That's the way the soul sees it. And so we shut it down or suppress it from our awareness or from use. So you might not even know that it's there because your soul has shut it down so effectively. But times have changed, and nowadays it is safe to be a healer. In fact, it's revered as a wonderful spiritual gift, and people actively reach out to others looking for healing and things like that. So we need to reactivate these healing abilities using energy healing to re-energize them, just like I said before, and bring them to the forefront, and so that they're fully within your power again. Okay, so you want to really reactivate those healing abilities to bring them up to the surface. And step 3, don't worry, we've got resources to help you with all of this. Step 3 is to find your unique channel. So everyone thinks being a healer means that you have to ditch your career or that you have to make it a full-time job, but not necessarily. Okay, everybody brings through this energy differently. You might be drawn to a particular healing modality or a therapy and use that as your channel to share healing. That might be your path. But lots of healing can also be done just simply as we live our daily lives, as we're going about our normal daily lives, by following your passions and your interests. That's the key. Maybe you'll share your healing through tending to plants, or caring for animals, or being a compassionate listener, or even lifting the moods of others with humour. There could be lots of different ways. Healing takes many, many forms, but which one it takes is unique to you. That's the wonderful thing about it, and what it is that brings you joy in life. So you need to really look at that. So if the question is, how do you find your channel? It's just engage in things that light you up inside, engage in things that bring you joy, because that's how you're going to find it. So the question is, now that we know our step by step, how do we do all of these things? Okay, because some of them are maybe sounding a little bit more complicated. How do we do all of these? It sounds like a big task. It's not. It is simple, it's quick, and it's easy. We use energy healing. That's always the key with spiritual awakening. You need to work on the level where all these shifts are taking place initially, and that's the energetic level. So we use energy healing to heal the past life healer's trauma, get it cleared out the way, to reactivate shut down healing abilities so that everything's woken back up energetically, and then all that's left is for you to become the channel for that healing energy by engaging in your most joyful interests. It's just about finding what it is that lights you up inside and spending some time doing that in whatever form it is. That's as simple as it is. So we'll do a little recap of everything that we've learned today. Let's recap all of this and just put it all together in a way that makes sense. So what we've covered is that everyone possesses innate healing abilities, and you do too. What we've also learned is that the fear of being judged, rejected, ridiculed, or even persecuted for those healing abilities actively blocks and shuts them down, so that we can't access them, we can't use them, or that they're really lackluster. Because you might be on that path and you've got it, but it's just not quite as available as it should be. And sometimes we completely subconsciously shut them down so that we can conceal the gift and protect ourselves. So we know that that's what's happening. It's from this lifetime and past lifetimes. So what we need to do is release those fears and heal any healer's trauma from those previous lifetimes to clear the blocks and the healing abilities so that your soul can express them once more. It's as simple as that. We covered what type of healer you are, and we discussed that really all that is about identifying what it is that lights you up inside, what's your joy, what feels like your purpose, so that you can engage in that and really bring that healing energy through. We covered 3 mistakes all healers make on their life purpose pathway, which was mistake number 1, allowing the fear of judgment, allowing the fear of judgment, rejection, or ridicule to stop you from fulfilling your healer destiny. Don't do that. We talked about mistake number 2, doubting your ability, which, as I said, is pointless because that ability exists within everyone. There's no point even doubting it. It's there, I'm telling you, it's there, and you'll find it. Mistake number 3, not reactivating shutdown healing abilities, very important part. And then we talked about 3 steps to your spiritual healing abilities. Step 1, heal that past life healer's trauma, which everyone has. Step 2, reactivate those shut down healing abilities to waken them back up again and bring them to the forefront. And step 3, find your unique channel, engage in your interests, your joys, your passions, and you'll find that energy starts to move through if you've done the steps that come before. Okay, now the good news is you don't need to go to energy healers, you don't need to train, you don't need expensive repeated sessions with anyone. If you're ready to get started on activating those healing abilities within, right now, then you can check out our brand new energy healing meditation. It's called the Healer's Awakening, and it's specifically created to help you to heal the wounded healer within, clearing all that past life trauma, the healer's trauma, and activate your soul's innate healing abilities once more. So it's really going to bring it to the forefront so that you can step into your purpose. It's a really powerful thing, and you can get started in about 10 minutes time. Now, you won't find an energy healing product like this anywhere else. Our products are really quite different. They're a special mix of meditation and energy healing, and lots of activations as well. Now, it's the equivalent of a specifically tailored energy healing session with me, because I work with a series of high vibrational spirit guides who are dedicated to helping us on the awakening pathway, and they will use it to heal all the different layers that you need to heal, and they will work specifically with your energy. So it's not a one size fits all. When you watch the video, they go to work on your behalf and they start working with your energy, making adjustments that are specifically tailored to your energy levels. Okay, because everybody's a little bit different in awakening. They're going to really make those changes. And also, you can use the healing meditation again and again, as many times as you like, to heal the layers and keep working through that stuff. So again, you don't need to go to repeated sessions with anyone. You can just listen as often as you like and keep working through those layers, working from home and at your own pace. It's a powerful part of your awakening, and it's a big thing that you want to reconnect with, is your healing ability. Now, this meditation is going to do a few things. First of all, it's going to heal the pain of feeling judged, attacked or rejected for your healing abilities, and that's in this lifetime or past lifetimes. It's going to clear the trauma from your point of attraction. So really, your law of attraction, the way you're drawing things into your life, it's going to clear all that out, which can have a big impact on what you actually draw into your life on a daily basis. It's going to repair damaged or shut down healing abilities, which we need. It's going to release blocks to your gifts that are caused by fear, and it's going to reawaken your soul's natural healing ability. So giving it that kickstart that we talked about to bring it back to the forefront. It's really fantastic and it's very exciting. So you can check it out below and have a look and see if it feels like a fit for you. Thank you so much for watching. Step into the healer that you're meant to be and enjoy it.